Hi, my name is Janine, and I am the CEO of Sorority Records. You can find out more about me at sororityrecords.com. I am also a student in the Intelligent Boss Moves class, taught by Dr. Boyce Watkins and Professor Dame Dash. Today, I'm going to stay away from all social justice issues, so you can save your tomatoes and your radishes for my next video. Today, I will be discussing two of our beloved and esteemed, most wonderfulest elders, Bob and Jackie Poindexter. The legendary Poindexters are part of a songwriting team called the Poindexters that is responsible for lots of the songs that have shaped the fabric of our lives, namely, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Our elders have been sampled by the likes of Kanye West, John Legend, Amy Winehouse, Will Smith, Bow Wow, 50 Cent, and many, many others over the past 40 plus years of their illustrious music career. These elders mentored me and cared for me and wrote with me and told me the truth about the business every single time I went to them for support over the past few hundred years that I've known them. I was so honored that they gave me some of their time via phone, and I am going to share that interview with you now. Also, I'm going to play a clip of them performing at the Apollo Theater. So enjoy the clip and then enjoy the interview right after that. Again, if you want to join me in class with Dr. Boyce Watkins and Professor Dame Dash, please click in the link below. And you can find out more about me at sororityrecords.com. Thank you and enjoy the interview.
Performers are a couple from Harlem who've been married for 40 years. Jackie and Bobby, y'all clap for them. What are you performing tonight?
At last.
At last? Okay, now, the showcase talent performers get a certain amount of time just to make it through their entire performance. If they do that, I got $1,000 cold hard cash here for them right here, right now. From home, y'all give it up Jackie and Bobby.
Senior citizens in the house, we're so blessed to be here this evening. At last, my love has come along. Yes, I have, baby. And my lonely days are over. Yes, it is.
All right, we are here right now. This is Janine, and I am a student in the International Boss Moves class, taught by Dr. Boyce Watkins and Professor Damon Dash. You can find out more about us by clicking the link in the description box. And right now, I am here interviewing a very legendary couple. This couple is Bob and Jackie Poindexter. and Robert and Jackie Poindexter. And they have been instrumental in my life from the day that I met them. Their son, Inge, Zoe, peace to Zoe, has been very kind to me over the years. They have fed me, taken care of me like parents for days on end when I was confused and trying to navigate life as a person living in New York. Miss Jackie would make sure that I had a hot meal, make sure that I wasn't confused, and Bob would give me advice and tell me how to deal with people, even as recently as a couple weeks ago. He's giving wisdom. So I'm really honored to have them here with me, and I just want to let everyone know that they are awesome and they wrote amazing things, and we're going to get into it right now. But thank you. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having us. The honor is all ours and the pleasure is all ours.
Thank you, Denise.
Anytime. So I think that we should just jump right in. And I want to give you both time to introduce yourselves formally. I know I did a lot of talking, but I'm going to give you to the floor just to say what you need to say to the audience, and then I'll get into the questions.
Well, hello. My name is Jacqueline Poindexter. I'm originally out of Chicago, Illinois, but we now live in New York City. I'm a songwriter, some note, singer, producer.
My name is Robert. They call me Bob. Songwriter, singer, producer, record company owner, and we've been in the business for about 30 years. Although we have about 20 platinum records on the wall, but everybody, including the last two, was Amy Winehouse, John Legend,
for
Jay-Z,
covers of some of our legendary songs.
Will Smith. We're most known for writing the classic song "Thin Line Between Love and Hate," and we really appreciate this opportunity to get the VI treatment that Janine has given us.
Yes.
Oh, well, you all are my sweeties, our elders. So I get upset when I see our rappers making mistakes. It's really profanatory and blasphemous for rappers to take the work of people who have basically given their lives to make sure that they were able to live their dreams and inspire others to live their dreams. So it's really disheartening when I see people doing things that just don't make any sense. And, breaking universal laws. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
So before we get into all that, that's coming. I know Bob has been talking about this for years. He's had a lot of success around making sure that the artists who sample give proper credit and payment to those they are sampling. So that's definitely a real thing that we're going to make sure that we drive that point home today.
Okay.
All right, so the first question I'm going to ask is, what year did you guys enter the music business?
You want to take that, Bob?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in the music business all of our lives. We came to New York in the mid-'60s, and we started off as singers and writers. And our first really hit record was on the late great Linda Jones. She recorded the classic song that we wrote called "Hypnotize."
And it's interesting. Prior to Linda Jones, I was the first to do a demo on it. I'd come from Chicago at the age of 16. I met this writer at the Regal Theater named Alonzo Tucker, who was then managing, I think, Jackie Wilson, and I got the opportunity to sing some of what I thought were smash hits during that time. Now I realize just, how bold I really was, but he did see some promise in me and signed papers with my mom to take me to New York and to introduce me to a very famous writing team called the Poindexter brothers, and that's how I met my husband when I got here. I mean, it was very exciting. The ride, waving from the projects to all my friends. It was like a Cinderella story.
He wasn't so famous then.
To me, it was great. It was grand.
We weren't so famous then, We hadn't had a national hit record.
Yeah, but I didn't have the experience that Linda had. And to make a long story short, the then producers, a guy named George Kerr, who was spearheading the project, decided it would be in the best interest of the company if Linda, who was a great gospel vocalist, and it took me a few years to get over the disappointment, but I dug in, I hung in with my songwriting and got, even more fierce. So, go to show you what destiny lies. Just wasn't my destiny.
Amazing story. Very interesting. So, I know we got to your first hit, so let's jump around and talk about what you guys are doing now. So, because what I hear is, wow, we've been doing this all our lives. We've mastered this, and we're never going to stop. So I would contest that if I bet any money, there's definitely a lot of writing and working going on over there as of right now. So what are you all working on currently?
Well, we're revising our catalog. We've updated and added some new pieces into our catalog. Recently, we had done the Apollo. Actually, my daughter was supposed to have done the Apollo, but she didn't go for whatever reason, and so we decided it would be to sort of save face that Bob and I we would go, because the rules stipulated that you as an artist you really have to have had a hit record out as a duo or a group or a solo, and we had never sang at the Apollo before as an act, so we were qualified, and that was one of the highlight moments, during that particular time for us. It's on YouTube. You can find the footage on YouTube, Bobby and Jackie at the Apollo.
Okay.
As I said, we updated our catalog. We're working on some other things with upcoming acts. I just submitted a play to Black Spectrum Theater, sort of highlighting our lives, our ups and downs, some of the magic moments in the industry. And Bob is working on his memoirs for a book. So things are beginning to happen. My son is working with a famous group, New Edition. And we all just sort of working together. It's family endeavor. My daughter, too, she's quite active and still singing.
Yes, we're still doing the same thing. As senior citizens with songwriters, we're still doing the same thing that we've always done. And some 20 platinum gold record on the wall.
You tell them who some of the people are, right?
One of the double platinum we got on John Legend, and the double platinum we got on Amy Winehouse was for a song called
originally recorded.
Sheila Fox. That was we're very proud of that. We did Sheila Fox on the late Jimi Hendrix back in the 60s.
Yes.
And that's him playing the guitar on it, and we're very proud of that because Jimi Hendrix was playing on sessions with my brother Richard Poindexter, and I think they got paid. They were getting paid like $15 a piece, and it's just amazing. And it was just amazing and shocking that the great John Legend and Amy Winehouse would pick our song up some 40 years later.
Yeah, in the same year, actually. I think it was 2006.
And the money from the platinum record for what we could get paid for it came in very handy.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Well, piggybacking off of that, I want to hear
we're still
about
doing
this
the same thing.
Jimi Hendrix experience. I want to hear about this Jimi Hendrix experience because I remember being with you all, and we would have the barbecue in the backyard, and the mics would come out. And
we still do that. It keeps us informed.
Right. But I remember you guys, huh?
Yeah, no, I was gonna. It sort of springboards from my story. When I came to New York, as I said, 16, I lived in a hotel called the Alvin, and lo and behold, when you know, they placed me right next door to this tall, thin young man who had the first afro that I'd ever seen. And I just thought he was during those days we called it hippie, So I called home and I told my mom about this tall guy that plays the guitar, who had these holy jeans on. But we would all hang out, in the room. We were young and full of fun, and so that was sort of my first introduction to Jimmy.
And his room was right next door to yours, Jackie.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And we used to get together and jam, and he's one of them. We during those days, we also worked with the late great Frank Alama, Clyde McSpatter.
Maya Angelou. We had some experience with her long before her poetry days.
Wow, and what did all those people have in common? What is one thing that you observed about all those people? I know one thing you told me is one day you saw Jimmy, and then you said, where is Jimmy at? And then you went to Times Square and saw a billboard. I remember that story.
There you go.
Yeah, it was so surreal. We were, as I said, at the hotel, and we'd been at the hotel for about 2 months. And it was just sort of a regular. We'd go over there and party a little bit and talk and listen to Jimmy. He's kind of quiet, always chewing gum. And then one day, suddenly Jimmy just disappeared. We didn't know where Jimmy was. A week passed, 2 weeks. And Bob and I, we were walking down Broadway. I will never forget it, going toward 47th, where the street sort of divides there, the Great White Way. And there was, no joke, this sign had to be at least 50 feet tall. And we said, "There's Jimmy!"
Wow.
Oh,
there
boy.
he is.
And
wow.
The rest is just history. I mean, if I'd have known he was going to become famous like that, I would have kept a guitar string or something.
We did a record on Maya Angelou.
Mm-hmm.
She was singing during the time.
You want to tell the name of that little song?
in the mid '60s.
Mm-hmm.
People hired us to write for Maya during that time, and she was really the first African orientated person I saw. This tall lady came in dressed in African garments, and we thought she was from Africa, really.
Very regal.
And we did a session on her. We did 2 songs on her for GWP Records. And we did a song on her, and
I think the song was called what? Ride That Mule.
Ride That Mule. And
I'm gonna find that and try to put it in this clip. Ride That Mule by Maya Angelou.
And what was the lyrical content of that?
Oh God, it's been so long.
A dance song.
Bob would probably remember. I don't even remember.
Ride That Mule, Ride That Mule. It was a dance song, and we did another song of her called "You're Welcome to Try," a blues type song of her, and we had to kind of train her in singing. That was way before her poetry thing.
Well, she was still trying to, I guess, maybe find herself. She always had that regal quality about her, and as you say, some things that make people different. They just each one just had a distinctive air about them. Jimmy, he was tall, and he was always looking like he was like maybe deep in thought, in my opinion. He was very much so into his music. Even when he wasn't doing music, he was still doing it. He was humming or he was doing something musically. So.
And a lot of people we had worship, like the great Frank Lyman, and the teenagers, Clyde McSpatter, the first really lead singer of the Drifters, and by the time we hit Broadway, we wrote a couple songs for Frank Lyman too. I don't think he died before they could release that. And when we got down to Broadway, we're talking about Broadway, 53rd Street and Broadway near the CBS building, and most of them so beat up and on drugs and alcohol, you know. And
drugs and alcohol and beat up how?
I don't mean physically beat up.
Oh, okay.
I mean just worn
just
out,
worn down, just life.
And we swore,
yeah,
and we swore that would never happen to us. That once we got hit records, that we would never get knocked down. The industry was different during that time.
Yeah,
they took advantage of you, and stuff like that, you know. But I guess one of the artists, Jimi Hendrix, came back to help us out.
And then there was Florence Ballard when she left the Supremes.
Yeah.
Wow. They shipped us to New York into the Poindexters, you know, and you could see life too had sort of taken hold, and she was just, that light was missing from her eyes. It's like she was just burnt out. And we recorded, what was it, 2 songs on her, Bob?
2 songs. We came here to record ourselves, but we became prolific writers, and they would bring different people to us. You know, especially like Florence. We were surprised that after she left the Supremes, I think ABC gave her $200,000, and we were very surprised to find out that she kind of couldn't hardly hold a note.
What? I attributed to she was just tired.
We would go up to ABC to rehearse her, and kind of taught her in a way. You know, she did a couple songs of ours, and they were released, and we were surprised.
Well, I don't want to say that. I just figured that she was just tired.
Don't get me wrong. You know, we appreciate Florence. You know, she loved us, but by being, say, like famous with the Supremes during that time, you know, we had to do it in a certain way. We couldn't have nobody in the room
in that Supreme kind of style. And we had our song, "If the world should tumble into dust beneath our feet, I'll find my world in you. You'll find your world in me." You know, it had that kind of Supreme-ish kind of feel, because that was the predominant feel that was happening and that she was familiar with, you know.
But we appreciate that opportunity. We love Florence, very, very proud of her, you know.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't know what happened with her and the Diana Ross and the Supremes. But during that time, she was just a woman in the music business and having a troubled life, and we glad we had the opportunity
to work with her.
To work with her, you know.
Yes. As we look back on her history, so many people, and just about everybody who's anybody, have touched our lives in one way or another. And that's the beautiful thing. Now we've had a lot of people cover our songs, and it's just amazing. Some of the songs, including Martin Lawrence with the movie Thin Line Between Love and Hate. So we continue on, and we just continue to do. We work sometimes, although these days I'm kind of selective about clients. I'm older, and I just take my time. I work a lot with my little grandbaby. He was only 7, believe it or not, but he shows a lot of promise. Got a little video out called Grow Up, Blow Up. His name is Jelante. So if you get a chance, you out there, go to YouTube and check him out. He may be the next Justin Bieber.
And the main thing is believing in yourself and surviving. Me and Jackie slept on subways.
Oh boy, did we!
Down in the Bowery, and that's before we had children, you know. But keeping our music going.
Yeah.
And everything. You know, they went through a lot, and that's what we try to express to a lot of young people nowadays. You know, you have to believe in yourself and know that you're good, and make a decision. You know, that you're gonna do it eternally. I mean,
24/7. It's a job.
24/7. Right. So I want to change gears a little bit.
I want to change gears a little bit because you are, I want to talk about Clive Davis. I want to go back to a Clive Davis. And everybody listening, you are listening to the Janine, that's right, the Janine of the Sorority Records, and students in the International Boss Moves class taught by Dr. Watkins and Professor Dame Dash. And we're here with the legendary Robert and Jacqueline Poindexter, and they're just telling us all of the magnificent things that have transpired in their life as musical creators and architects of much of the sounds that we have heard over the past, I would say, 30 to 40 years.
Okay.
Speaking of that, let's get into this lawsuit. Now, I was online one day, and I saw this ridiculous thing. This man ran up to somebody's car, and it was Kanye West, and he served him these papers, and it was this big fiasco, and then I saw this video of Bob going in on everybody. So I just need Bob to get the floor and clear this up so that people aren't confused about exactly why, you're serving Kanye West on TMZ. Just let's get into that. What is that?
I'll let Bob expand on that one.
Kanye West I'm a high school graduate and really didn't have no legal expertise, but I had a mind for it. And it's hard to get lawyers to go at people like Kanye West and 50 Cent and 50 Cent paid up. I've been in court with 50 Cent. What's that guy named, Jack?
Bow Wow, we're currently in court
with Bow Wow now, and Cash Money Records. That's Bird and Slimmer Cash Money Records, and most of it. Who did that song? Knowing that we're unfortunate.
Well, first of all, let me say we were so honored when these people. Every time somebody pick up our song, we're just very, very honored. But except for a very small percentage of the people, we're just so amazed that we always have to fight these people to get paid. It shouldn't be like that.
Kanye West is ridiculous. He did the same song, a song called Trying Girls Out. Jay-Z did it. We got a platinum record on Jay-Z.
He produced Jay-Z on the song, as a matter of fact.
We got a platinum record on Jay-Z. Well, Jay-Z's for doing it, but fortunately, Jay-Z decided just to go ahead and pay us some money.
Yeah, he was just one of the honorable ones.
Kanye produced the song. The Jay-Z song was on Jay-Z's song, The Blueprint, and they called it Girls Remix. And Kanye had produced it, and then Kanye come back a few years later and did the song himself.
About 2 years.
Most of the people, once they see that they're fighting, say me, and I have no real legal expenses, but learned the hard way how to represent myself in court. And most people say she just give them some money, because it's not a situation where I've had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. Kanye West, I hate to say this, he's ridiculous. It took me 3 years to catch up with Kanye West. It took me 3. He came back and did the same song over again. He
sampled it. So to be clear to my listening audience, what Bob is basically saying, because you have to remember, a lot of the people listening are not in music class, but most of the people that are going to listen to this video are only here because I am a student and a disciple of Dame Dash. And I'm going to call Dame, or I don't have his phone number, so let me front like that. But I'm definitely going to send an email to Dame about this, because what Bob is basically saying, everyone, is when you sample somebody else's work, what certain stand-up gentlemen like Jay-Z and 50 Cent and others who have come forth to pay the proper due, this is really an unnecessary. Dame always preaches about how we allow lawyers to suck up a lot of the money that could be going into our pockets.
That's right. A lot of the white artists have paid us.
Right.
And
this
no
is
problem.
a call for peace, Kanye. This is a call for peace. This
Right.
gentleman is basically saying, hey, I created something that you sampled which contributed to your blockbuster multi-million-dollar career. I'm in Queens and I'm a senior citizen. That record that you sampled, I actually starved and had to go through things with my family in order to produce it on a level that would allow you to be able to sample it.
Yes,
right.
That, sir.
And we're
And
still
come to
going
the table
through
and
things.
reason with me.
Yes.
Right, and it's not about, and Jay-Z pays, let's say this, let me make this clear. On behalf of someone who benefits from sampling, my career would be nothing without people like Miss Jackie having the courage to leave Chicago, where I'm from, to follow her dreams. I would not have anything if Miss Jackie and other women like Miss Jackie hadn't been bold enough to try it. Because she tried it, I did too. So
well, I'm so glad that you just
Thank
recognized that and gave us the proper respect for it, you know.
Thank
And it
you.
saddens me to see that young black kids like Kanye, and he is a kid to me, you know, and knowing this. And the sad thing, he comes from Chicago, too. You know, and we're struggling. I'm still struggling, you know, with various things, you know.
Right. Well, we're going to try to change that. We're going to try to change that and draw attention to this. But I think that what we have to remember is that traditionally in our community, elders are to be respected. I don't know what kind of newfangled situation we're in right now, but it's spiritually and universally out of order. And no, this isn't about morals. Nobody is claiming to be perfect here. We're all entertainers. It's about the rock star life. Miss Jackie and Bob are rock stars. Always have been rock stars.
And don't forget Richard, our brother.
And our brother Richard Poindexter.
Yes, it's three of us.
Richard.
Everything we did,
right.
we did along with our brother Richard Poindexter.
There you go.
Right, along with Richard Poindexter. So these are real people that actually took the time to sit down and put pen to paper and create something from their heart so that it could be heard by the world. You heard it, you liked it, and you continued making money without breaking bread.
Right,
Get your mind right, Kanye. Let's get ourselves together. I will be going to Dame to ask Dame to facilitate this. And then you try disrespecting Dame. How about that? Since you want to disrespect Bob, why don't you disrespect Dame and tell Dame that you don't care about the elders? Tell Dame that. All right, Bob, let's go.
You said James?
Dame Dash, yeah. Dame Dash is someone that saw talent in Kanye when other people didn't. And that's why I feel like I'm so proud and honored to be in the Intelligent Boss Moves class. And if you're interested in joining us in class, please click the link below. But I think that it's important that we understand that everybody in the music industry is personally invited and cared for by other members of the music industry. Kanye, where would you be without Dame? Stop playing.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
If somebody had to sponsor you and help you along the way.
There you go. There you go.
Right.
Wasn't for James, maybe Kanye wouldn't be where he is now.
Exactly. And who supported me before I got my first real independent record deal and went on my first real tour? I was at Bob and Miss Jackie's house. I was over there. I was not somewhere by myself. I was being supported by industry veterans who gave me the knowledge to keep going. They just gave me things that I could keep going. Even on, remember how my song California, we wrote that?
Yes,
and that's available on SoundCloud. If you look up Sorority Records, you can find it everywhere. But a song that we co-wrote together is California. Another one is Favorite Boy.
Right,
and we all work together, and you still have access to the man who finished Jimi Hendrix's album when he died. There are so many jewels here. So for Kanye to disrespect someone who has literally, you understand that the thin line between love and hate is a vernacular that people of all colors use to describe love at this time, and it probably will, that it's two sides of the same coin. I want somebody to show me another song that's able to articulate that. We have got to honor our psalmists, because without it, we don't really have a soundtrack. So I understand that everybody doesn't really want to take everything so seriously, but it's our children that are being subjected to mental health, mental illness being distributed by music. Mental illness. I would bet that if I went through the Poindexter's entire catalog, I would not find one lyric that contributed to the mental illness of another human being. I wouldn't find one.
you're still giving us encouragement, Janine.
That's right.
When you were at our house, you a great talent, and you showed so much interest in us and
you know, and a kid told
us and our music, and you even recorded out there in our garage studio.
That's right.
You did that song you showed us, and you were
a lot of the young people.
You're a great inspiration to us at our ages. Every now and then, people our ages need a little jump start, and we meet somebody like you, and treat us as if we still VIPs, and if we're somebody, and that recharge our batteries. And
you know, what a kid one time told me, you know, he said, I know this is the music house, which is a tag that sort of stuck. He said, but I'm calling it the safe house because I feel safe. I can do my music. I'm not ripping and running the street and looking over my shoulder, worried about the police, you know. And that really made me feel good. It made me feel like we're making some kind of a contribution, you know. We're right there in the yard singing and writing. Sometimes we hold a seminar. Sometimes they'll have questions about music or contracts that they'll come in, and this is the only place they can actually come into, put your hand on the wall and touch a real gold or platinum record.
Yeah,
right.
We've been very fortunate. We're talking just about the rappers and stuff. Let me say just a couple of words about Chris Hines and the Pretenders.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Hines and the Pretenders, you know, we're white pop stars through our music. We got platinum records on Analytics, double platinum, and double platinum on Chris Hines and the Pretenders. One of the most touching. And a lot of times, because in between everything, we've been trying to, the biggest thing is try to get paid from people. Like I said, we got a double platinum, and a little story is that we were hustling tube socks, say back in the 1984 or something. You know, we've always had to go out there and be street peddlers, and Jack and them did their end. Sometimes we were on public assistance. There were times that we had city shelters, and
it was called survival between the music.
But all we're doing now, we were on 34th Street. Me and my brother Richard, we were very well known. We were more well known for being street peddlers, selling tube socks than we were for music. You know, nobody never knew we did all that stuff. And Chris Hines did our song, Thin Line Between Love and Hate, and she actually invited us. We got a platinum record on Chris Hines for that too.
Mm-hmm.
I
was in Chicago that year.
Those platinum records give you a boost when you really when you get paid some of your money, you know. And we used to hustle tube socks in front of Madison Square Garden. Everybody knew us. Me and my brother Richard as the socks. It's called a sock. We sold socks. Chris Hines came into Madison Square Garden on a Wednesday. She invited us in there to be special guests. She had 17,000 people in there. We had never had that kind of accolation from anybody before. We were shocked. We were sitting out in the audience, and it might have been 3 or 4 more black folks in Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
And that stuff, man, it was touching. I think that time
except for security and people like that, you know.
That time I think I shed a tears, and she went up on stage, and she called us out on stage, and she said, thanks to the Poindexter, you know.
Nobody had ever really done that before. They were really moved.
You know, she said, part of the reason why I'm here today up on stage because of the Poindexter. And people all around us started snapping pictures, and I think a little tear fell from her eyes. She went and signed, took us back, made us special guests at a dinner, and I hate to say it this way, but we had never got that kind of accolation, you know, really from anybody else except this person just happened to be just happened to be white. That was a very touching moment, especially when you were out there, and we already had hit records on a lot of people, including the OJs and everything, and people just knew us downtown.
Well, tell her what happened the next day before your time run out.
What's that, Jack?
No time is going to run out. We have as much time as we need. We're timeless up in here. As much time as we need. This is documented history. We need this.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff that we ain't done on with her, and of course those gold records and stuff like that. I mean, of course those little hit records in between help keep you going and get you out the street for a while, you know. And I just want to say that about Chrissy, you know.
But tell her the next day what happened when you went.
The next day, the next day, what I say, the Cinderella story was over. We was right back in front of Madison Square Garden selling socks.
Wow.
But with a big smile on her face. Mm-hmm. And nobody knew who we were again.
He told me, he said, one of the security guards passed by and said, wait a minute, you look like somebody? No, it can't be.
OJ gave us some recognition. I think I might have showed you the Village Boys article where the OJs just came. This was before they went to Gambling Huff. And they just came out in the article and just said the Poindexters gave us our style. Mm-hmm. Or the OJs their style. And OJs their style. They said they gave it, told what Richard did on the piano and everything. The OJs hadn't had a hit when we first met them. This is before Gambling Huff. And after Linda Jones, they brought the OJs. They brought the OJs to us. And we wrote the very first national hit record before Gambling Huff. Of called
I'll Be Sweeter Tomorrow.
I'll be Sweeter Tomorrow. I remember Eddie is something else. And, you know, I used to try to not try to look like I think I'm so much, and I have to tell Eddie LeVert, Eddie, you got it, you doing this. Eddie said, man, just shut the hell up and show me that phrase. You know.
Wow.
And that was another period. He's one of the few persons they gave us some credit in international papers. Again, you know, I mean not again, but during that time, we could tell stories after stories. Unfortunately, when you're young and you're surrounded by a bunch of wolves, and they just take advantage of you know, over and over and over again. But I don't want to just talk about bad luck because we've been very fortunate.
Raised a family, you know, out of it. Children. Richard had 6 children. I have 3. So we've been fortunate, you know. Now everybody's grown, and we have children now. One, my son, he's into videos, as I said earlier. He's working with Michael Bivins and doing other projects coming up this year. I'm sure that some good is going to come out of those things. My daughter, she's singing and she's writing, and she just started really a new job. So, you know, things are working out quite well.
I've told you the Stay Alive story. And after having hits with the OJs and the great late Linda Jones and a record out on Jimi Hendrix and a bunch of other people, which should have been enough success to keep us in money for the rest of our lives. In 1969, you know, after getting taken advantage of by a lot of people in the music industry, we had to bounce back, and that's when we really started going out on our own. A so-called manager who was like a father figure to us during that time, you know, because we just did anything he asked us to do. And we started working on this song called Persuasive. They were called the Internationals then, and we just kept going. Me and Jackie got set out I'm just telling this kind of story because if anybody's striving, some folks striving to make it in this business, it's good that they hear both sides of it, and how much you have to believe in yourself to keep going, and that's the most important thing. And we started working with the Persuaders, and we had to start all over again. Me and Jackie just got set out, and our kids and went to stay at Richard's house, who had two bedrooms, 11 of us, in this one little house up there in the Bronx. And we would work on this song every day called Still Water Run Deep. We would work on this song every day. We had a small hit on the Persuaders. They were the internationals then. And we believed in this song, and we worked on it. It was called Still Water Run Deep. And then when we, after about a year, and just working every day and creating a group, and then we finally was ready to present it to record companies. And wow, we woke up one morning,
turned the radio
on, and we heard a song called Still Water Run Deep, not like ours, by the Four Tops. Boy, we felt devastated for a minute, and then we had to come up with a title that meant the same thing, because we had an audition a couple of days later.
Yeah, we had to do it fast.
And so we had to come up with a title that only thing that we would have to change would be the title. And wow, and we came up with the title, Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Wow.
That meant the same thing as Still Water Run Deep. And that became the greatest, God work in mysterious ways. That became the greatest, that was our first gold record. And it worked perfectly. We took it around and shopped it around to companies like the Isley Brothers, and some of them turned it down, some of them tried to offer us bad deals, but we wound up with Atlantic Records, and I can't begin to tell you, when you just got set out in the street and you're at your low point, but you believe in yourself, in the young people listening, hope they remember this, and wow, and that's when our biggest hit and greatest hit came up, which is still helping.
So never give up your dreams.
Which is still helping to pay our rent today.
That's right.
Wow. And my question about that is, I just recently got word that there is a sequel to the Martin Lawrence movie, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, that's coming out. I think it was on a website.
Well,
on one of the blogs, but that was reported.
Yeah, it was on a blog. I received it in the email, so I was. I'm totally thrilled. We're still waiting. I've tried to contact Martin to see maybe we could submit other material to the movie, but so far I haven't heard any. I haven't had any response, so we don't know.
All right, we're going to do it right now. We're going to reach out to Martin right now before we go any further. Martin Lawrence. Hey,
give us a shout out. Come on, talk to us, Martin.
The song that you are using to make money off of the movie.
That's right.
Would like to speak with you. Please call your co-creators back if you are looking for the Poindexters, which you will be after this video. But I'm gonna make sure you hear me. Please reach out.
We got a whole bunch of material, new artists, people. Hey,
speak for us.
That's right.
Right, we'll use this as a megaphone to get in touch with people, and we're not even going to down those people who are making questionable choices around connecting with their co-creators. These are just people making questionable choices around connecting with their co-creators. So we are not going to act as if Martin has done something wrong. It's just really hard to get in touch with someone.
Well, we would like
who
to
is
think
famous
that, like you said, it's just difficult to get through to these people.
But
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
But
Martin,
we would also, Janine,
Kanye, listen to.
We would also like to say thanks to Martin for doing that song, because Jackie just gotten out back in 1996. Our families and the kids and Jackie, we had just gotten out of the city shelter about a year and a half, in some of the worst city shelters in New York. and wow, God is good, and I say in this case Martin is good. And we look up Martin did a movie based on that song. It was rough in the beginning. He had offered us $50,000 to split up, but we had just gotten out of city shelter. We was living out in the bungalow, one of the most notorious areas, drug-infested areas in New York. But we really didn't feel. But after just surviving a year and a half in the city shelter, we turned the $50,000 down. And
well, I hate quoting figures, but I felt like it was supposed to have been.
And that's when I really
considering he made $35 million.
And that's when I really started learning my legal stuff.
That's right.
We told him keep it, but we wound up fighting him and threatening to hold up the movie and all that stuff. And I remember me and Richard and Jackie, when you're still living in the worst areas of the ghetto, at first checks for $75,000 a piece during that time, and we were just so glad we had held out. But we still like Martin, I mean, we still appreciate it. That's the last thing I want to say,
Yeah, I think what Martin is, you just have to figure them out, You have to.
There you go.
Yeah, so
anyway,
just has to be
that's kind of an overview of our life and an overview of our career. And personally speaking, for me, that sort of kind of, wrap it, and it's not a pretty bow, but it's, and I'd, like to say that, as I said, we're still here, we're still viable. We have some of the younger students and people that we still work with. As I say, I don't take very many clients these days, but when I do take one, we work very hard and we try to produce some very good material. And so with that, we have other irons in the fire. We're trying plays this year. We're going to try books. We're going to be doing some pretty prolific things this year, providing our health and our strength holds out.
It will. My question to you is, I feel like you all, what we haven't picked up on is you guys are basically running a label. When people would send these artists to you, was it because you guys were running a label? Because I guess that's still what you're doing, in essence, running a label. So were you all running a label back then?
Excuse me?
Were you all running a label back then? Because what Miss Jackie is describing right now sounds
our
like
first label
was Win or Lose, right?
We first started after launching the OJs, Linda Jones, and recording with Jimi Hendrix, and then finding ourselves in 1969, and the people who entrusted with our career, so-called managers and different people, just basically let us down. Let us down. We said our first label came about. We said next time, what we're gonna do, we're gonna start our own label. We said that's how Win or Lose Records came about. The label that Thin Line was on. And we've been having a label ever since then. We started our own label. Atlantic Records gave us a deal, and they Sue's first album is on Win or Lose Records, and we started our own label then.
Wow.
And learned.
And we were young, we had a lot of things to learn about labels and stuff.
But you did
at least we made a start. Our current label is Jack Bob, a combination of Bob's name and my name. And we're still looking for the artist. There's no main artist yet on it. We did do my grandson, as I say, under that label. And we're looking around for other qualified artists, too, as well. My daughter, she's committed. She wants to do some other things, but I think she wants to start off writing as opposed to being an artist. She was in a band, and that didn't work out too well. So she knows that when she gets herself together, that there's always a place for her on Jack Bob if she so desires. And any qualified artists, they can submit demos.
Okay, where can they email you so that if there are any listeners that live in New York. That's the thing. You have to remember, these are elders. These are not people that are hopping on a plane to come to Minnesota to rock with you. If you want to work with the legendary Poindexter team, you need to be somewhere in New York.
Well, we have some young producers and people that help out with things.
Shoot your shot, but I want to make sure that right now we are very clear and concise in our messages to people.
Yes.
So what is an email?
They can send it right to we prefer my Gmail, JPNDX as in X-ray, Tiara 1, the number 1, at Gmail.
Okay, so what I'll do is include that in the comment link box below the video so that people get in touch with you. And you know, we are approaching a stage where independence is the answer. If you're doing music, it doesn't really make sense to try to get a record deal at this time, mainly because, well, unless you have a following and a buzz, or
that's the whole game has changed out there. It's not like it was before.
Right.
Yeah.
Artist development is a thing of the past.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something like that, you need to reach out to the Poindexter. Be prepared. Have your money right. None of their work is, nothing is free. That's why we're here right now. Because Kanye West didn't want to pay
takes
for
a team,
so if you reach out and you get inspired and you want to sample, just know that you're going to be breaking bread too.
Okay.
So right now we're going to change gears a little bit. I'm going to do a lightning round. And I want to just get a quick answer about certain people because you all have worked with so many people, and I don't want to shortcut anything for our audience. I want to have it so everybody understands that, hey, this is living history. These are people with information that probably will, we don't know. We have to get them a book. I'm calling out to Deneen Milner. I'm calling out to my classmate Nadine Gale. In terms of helping them get their book written, I'm calling out to Serendipity Publishing right now in order to get my elders right. So everybody listening to this, and rest assured, if I called your name out in the video, I'm going to send it to you with a message saying that I did it, including you, Kanye, including you, Martin, including you, Milner.
Wonderful.
Black Girl Magic. How about that? So I think that we just need to move forward with our plans, and you all are welcome here to bring anything that you have going on. I'm going to definitely make sure that we are aware that you are working now and you have been working for the past 50 years. So let's get into this lightning round. I'm going to say somebody's name, and then you say your association with them kind of quickly so we can, I know people aren't going to listen for 2 hours, but we can try to get them to a little while longer. Just a few more minutes, guys. Hang in there with us. Clyde Davis. What's up with Clyde Davis? Give me a little synopsis of the Clyde Davis.
Clyde Davis used to come before he became the big Clyde Davis, but he worked for CBS. He used to come up to the rehearsal hall where we rehearsed it. We rehearsed our acts at, and he was involved in the OJ's first hit, and he heard us. Rehearsing they brought him up there to hear us rehearsing the OJ.
I was observant. I remember quiet, very conservative white man, but white people we weren't surprised because they would peep in at rehearsal hall and stuff periodically.
He heard I'll Be Sweeter Tomorrow, and wow, and they released it on VL Records, and it became the OJ's first hit. And as recently as maybe about 6 years ago, another thing about Clyde, I called him up, and it took me about a day to get him on the phone to get past his secretary. And wow, he remembered us, and we had a couple of acts. A girl like I wish that it had been you, Jenny. And we sent our music to Clyde Davis. He reviewed it. I still have the letter. And he told her that he gave us consideration. Whitney Houston and everybody just told us that give me one more record, but she fell apart. And and we did another. So and the same thing happened with another act. We were fortunate enough that Clyde Davis remembered us and respected us and wanted to help us out. I just wish we'd have had you as an artist during that time.
Wow.
As great as y'all, you'd have been much more dedicated, and you'd have probably realized, what an opportunity that was,
Wow. Wow, that's an amazing story. And yeah, that thing about artists falling out, again, this is a class. So here's how it works. You as an artist, you have a responsibility to preserve yourself so you can endure. And when somebody like Robert Poindexter calls one of his long-standing connects and you fall apart, you have just blown it.
Man.
And you need to know, I don't know who that woman is,
me?
but I think that this is something that artists need to hear. And the elder is saying it in a nice way. But what he's basically saying is, yeah, I stuck my neck out there for a man that put me on 50 years ago, and you couldn't hold up your bargain by keeping your mind right and getting your music together. So you can make us all,
there you go.
some kind of money or progress, and make sure that the work that we're investing in you is going somewhere. So artists, let this be a lesson to you. If you're not serious about your music, first of all, don't get in touch with me. Don't get in touch with me. Now, I know I'm not anybody right now, but later on, 10 years, I don't know what we're going to be talking about. But if
That's
you're not
right.
serious,
Keep it moving.
Don't even reach out to anybody on the staff of Sorority Records. And please don't reach out to anybody on the staff of Jack Bob if you plan to pull a stunt like that. If somebody is trying to get you a career and you don't know how to keep yourself together enough to maintain. The whole goal, the thing is, and I remember you told me this, Bob, you said that, yeah, I just want artists to know that, yeah, it's going to be a fight, but you need to keep yourself healthy enough to enjoy it. So
That's right.
Because most of this time when artists fall apart, when somebody gives them a container, an opportunity, a platform, an opportunity to get a deal, yeah, it is easy for an artist to fall apart because they've never had it. They don't have the conditioning that allows them to see it through, and that's why it's not that many superstars.
And one of my favorite
I think it's sad.
One of my favorite expressions is if you're going to give 10 hours to the man, meaning your boss, not necessarily any race, particular race or color, but if you're going to give somebody 10 hours, 12 hours, at least put in a few for yourself. Don't just do it all and then just give up your dreams. Put in some hours and keep your music, keep yourself going.
Right. Now, I want to talk about the people in Queens, because what people don't realize is these are very modest people. But everybody in Queens knows that the Poindexters are music royalty. Anybody has blessed their space. There have been elaborate parties. I remember I went to Miss Jackie's birthday party one day. Foxy Brown walked in and tried to diss me. Foxy, where you at? Yeah, you can say something about that too. So I feel like at this point, just having fun.
And as recent as 2 years ago, we was on the hip-hop tour. There was a bus that was going through all parts of Queens, was showing famous people's houses like Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, and, Run DMC and so forth and so on, Russell Simmons, and finally got down to my neck of the woods, LL Cool J, etc., then on down. Then this was the great Poindexter house. I was in the kitchen frying fish, and we had people, because the guy that was conducting the tour knew us very well, and he didn't give me a warning that he was just going to stop. I thought I heard him say something, but when I looked up, we had people from Switzerland and France and Germany and Italy standing up in my living room.
That was nice.
Looking at the plaques.
I'm standing there frying fish, and I'm trying to explain the plaques.
That was Mikey D.
Yeah, the legendary Mikey D, who helped to put LL on.
Mikey D was driving that tour.
Wow.
If you read LL Cool book, he'll tell you Mikey D, he got his style from Mikey D. Mikey D put him on.
And he told us, he said that the people, after they left the house, because we talked a little bit, they heard my daughter's band at the time was playing in the back, and they went back there, and they're taking pictures, and God knows what else. But they said that was the greatest tour they'd ever had.
Wow. Yeah, because it's like people don't understand what we have in the Poindexters, and if you've ever been blessed to have an experience in their home, it is a throwback to the creative environment that made the OJs, that made the sound of Thin Line, Beethoven, and Hate, that made it possible for all these people to sample. Why was it so much love in the record? Because
music is so universal.
You're guaranteed a lot of things. You're guaranteed a lot of laughter and love. You're guaranteed to connect with somebody your age because people of all generations are there, no matter how old you are. If you're a kid, it's kids. If you're a teenager, it's teenagers. If you're a 20-something, it's other 20-somethings there. If you're a 30-something, it's other 30-somethings
right.
there. If any age you are, you can find a counterpart, and the house is always full of love and joy. There's always a dinner cooked fresh. I have never seen you all order a pizza, and I've been there, so I have never seen a pizza in Miss Jackie's house. I've never seen them order a pizza.
Well, these days you might see one or two.
Okay. Well, I've never seen it. I've been there.
Only because my grandbaby, he's young.
For the grandbaby, but when I was there was Miss Jackie was cooking dinner every night.
Right, cooking, right. Had to be cooking. That's right.
Out. She wasn't leaving her house to go work somewhere. No, she was there with her family, cooking dinner and writing songs and creating an environment that Kanye West, John Legend, 50 Cent, Bow Wow, Amy Winehouse, the OJs, Florence Ballard, Annie Lennox, and many others that I will not even stand here and try to name because I'll lose my breath. LL Cool J, Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these people benefited from the fact that this family was able to create an environment loving enough to make great music. So on behalf of all of hip-hop, I apologize for Kanye West's ignorant and insolent behavior, and we're going to rectify that as soon as possible.
Well, thank you.
And if there's anything that you want to say to anybody else that you figured out has sampled you and not paid, let's get them right. Because when we're elders, I know when I'm an elder, I dare one of you all to try to sample my album and not pay me.
I appreciate. We appreciate everybody. We've had to fight to get paid to few crumbs money from them, including 50 cents. 50 cents don't live too far from us. Used to, and maybe about 10 minutes away. But in the end, after fighting some of the top lawyers in the world, that people like 50 cents and the last one, Cash Money, Bird and Slim. I thank God that he gave me the intelligence enough to represent myself in court.
At 74 years old, this man's mind is still as bright as it ever was.
And all of it.
And I'm 67 years old, and not a day goes by that I don't learn something new.
I respect. In the end, I respect all these people, all these gold and platinum records that we got hanging on the wall. I respect all of those people for doing their songs, But let me say this, and very seldom I have anything negative, to say about anybody that's really done our songs, have put some of these gold records on the wall. But I just like to say I'm in court with Kanye now. He's one of the worst persons. And if you're listening, that I've ever worked with, that ever did our songs, he's one of the worst persons, and took 3 years. Thank God for 74 years old. Thank God for giving us the strength to survive and giving me enough knowledge to fight this man, And now he's found the case is over now. He finally lost, So right now we're just going through the final stages of the case. He's through this Judge Stewart with us, Judge Sweet. We ran across a good judge and kept giving me extensions, and Judge Sweet and other judges to file him because they give you so much time to catch up with people. And at the last minute, they can't give it to you forever, and that's probably one of the most dramatic stirs. And just at the nick of time, a couple of months for the time was going to run out, and they didn't know if they could give me any more extensions. You saw it on TV. You saw it in my court up with it. Thank God for that.
Nelson Tucker, wonderful, brilliant man. Yes.
Nelson Tucker, he's good. He got a TV special out of it. And now the Kanye stage, We just in the last stages in our twilight zone, and I'm in twilight ages.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank God. We just,
Well, all I want to say too is that it's never too late to right or wrong. If you know that you've done something wrong, Kanye, you're not a child anymore. Try to just make it right and cut the crap and step forward and be the man that your mom raised. That's all I gotta say.
Thanks for giving us this opportunity to talk to Kanye.
And thank you.
Yes.
We will definitely be having you back on.
Yes.
I look forward to all of the great things that are coming for our team in the new year, because I'm always Team Poindexter. And, thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you so much.
And thank you too, Janine. Thank you very.
Janine, the last thing I would say, especially a message to young folks out there, your best success and the most important thing that could happen to you is to have your health and strength and a good, clear mind. And especially at our age, and you one of the greatest talents that ever came through age. You're remarkable.
One of the joys has been working with you. Yes,
you have encouraged us as singers.
You have an unbreakable spirit that I admire your spirit.
You've encouraged us, not just as singers and songwriters, but as senior citizens. You've been gas in our tank, and you're still doing it, and we appreciate that so much. Especially a great talent like you, one of the greatest singers that ever came through.
That's right.
And
thank you. It means a lot since you've seen everybody.
Hey.
Wow.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward.
Well, thank you.
I've got to sign off now because I got to make that little run to the bathroom.
All right. Well, this was perfect.
Let it be known that I love everybody, and thanks again. Thanks, America, for taking the time out to listen. And thank you, Janine. Thank the people who are responsible for the station here for also giving us this platform.
Wonderful. Thank you. And we're going to also be sending them to another radio station that's affiliated with this platform. I believe it's somewhere in Florida. So get ready for your next interview. And everybody listening, we're going to make sure that you all are posted in the comments section of this video. I will personally post the comments of the next video, the next interview that they will be doing, because we're gonna hold our elders up.
Okay, well that one too. Let us know in enough time. We're gonna try to have Richard too as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Well, this is just the beginning of many more successes. Thank you, elders. Thank you for all of your service, and we will definitely be speaking again soon. All right.
All righty. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Love you too. Bye bye.
All right. Hello?